Here to discuss and give us some great advice on dating with children after divorce is relationship and communication coach Lauren Millman. What are some of the issues that people face with dating after divorce when they have children?
So the biggest issue that I found with people coming into my office is, do you bring up the fact that you have children? You know, we're always so iffy when we get into new situations with new people.
But why wouldn't you tell them? Like, wouldn't that be a given? Why would you hide the fact that you actually have a child?
Right.
That just seems weird to me.
Right. So a lot of times, though, people are nervous about introducing the fact to their new significant other that they do have children for fear that their relationship won't continue.
Right.
So my motto is to get it all out on the table first, because you want to be open and honest about your situation so that there's nothing to hide, and you want the other person to feel welcome to share that kind of information as well.
How long should you wait before you should consider starting to date again after a divorce?
Right. So that's a fabulous question.
Okay, thanks.
That's sort of like the big ticket question, you know, am I ready?
Right.
And so there's a list of criteria, if you will, or check-offs that I like to suggest to people to go through before they actually go out into the dating world again. And the big question is to ask yourself, am I ready?
Right.
You know, am I really over my past relationship? And do I have the ability to move forward into a new relationship? And so
without bringing that baggage forward,
without
right?
bringing,
yes,
absolutely. So you want to make sure that you know you've tried on the idea in your mind about, am I ready to date? Then you want to ask yourself, you know, do I understand who I am? Do I understand who I've become? Because we're often very different people when we leave one relationship and we go into another.
Okay, now scenario. You're dating someone, it's been 8 to 12 months, you introduce them to your kids, and they can't stand them.
Right. Again, another chance for a sit down with your children. We have to respect our children, not just as children, but just as human beings.
Right.
It could be that they're not ready for the new introduction. They're not ready for the change. It could be that they're still working out their issues of mom and dad separating or divorcing. And again, these are things that I deal with in my practice on a day-to-day basis. So my suggestion to those parents would be to take a step back. It's very important at that point in time to make sure that you put your children in the limelight.
What were some of the fears that you experienced getting back out there? Were you scared?
Well, for me personally, because I didn't have much of a turnaround time between my two marriages.
Right.
So the whole online texting, that wasn't even around. I was married at the age of
Yes.
23, right? So that was all very new to me. Like, you could pretty much start, finish, and end a relationship completely on text and never meet the person these days.
Right.
So it's a very different dynamic. You're not waiting for a guy to call you. You're lucky if he sends you a text. So getting around the technology of dating was a little bit fearful for me, a little bit.
I wonder if some people stay in relationships because they are afraid of that technology. What do you think? Because I know with speed dating, married people always ask, like, what is that? Like, what's speed dating? And they're so interested, but they're just like, well, I'm so glad I'm not single. So what do you think about that? Do you think
I completely agree. It's just so weird because I was with my ex for 15 years from the age of 15.
Okay.
And
15?
Yeah, we met in high school. So all of a sudden when we met, it was like so hard for me to even get through to her on the phone unless she was at home and I was at home.
Yeah.
We didn't even have cell phones then, you know. And now it's so weird that there is no personal communication amongst people. And that's why speed dating has been something that's been more of an interest to me as opposed to online dating, because I just don't have the patience or the threshold of being able to sit there and just respond to a million emails back and forth.
So do you find that having kids and dating, it minimizes your dating pool?
I don't.
I don't either. I
No.
don't either. It did for me personally in the beginning because I had always said, you know, I'm not going to date anyone that doesn't have kids,
Yes.
that's never been married before. And then I had a few friends come up to me and say, well, you're just limiting yourself, you know, because there's a lot of people that don't mind dating someone that's been previously married with kids. And so once I started doing that, it added different variables to the relationship.
And yourself?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, with my second husband, I even tried to break up with him saying, like, I've got these kids, you're probably going to want some, I don't know. And he said, you know, it's not the thing that I thought I would do growing up, that I would look for a woman with children, but I love you. And I think that's the thing is go for it, because whoever falls in love with you is going to fall in love with you, whether you have no kids or some kids. They're going to adapt because they want to be with you.